Hey guys, it's 16BitBoy and welcome back to interviewing YouTubers. Stuff is things, and hopefully we'll be back to a more regular schedule. Obviously last week I did unfortunately have to upload it on Friday instead of Thursday like I try to, but I'm getting better, hopefully. This is the 5th episode, and I'm here, let's introduce our guest. I have no idea how to say your username.
Oblivici Mortem.
That's quite the username.
It means forget death in Latin.
Oblivici Mortem.
Perfect.
Something shorter I can call you?
You can call me Mortem.
Mortem, got it. Well, welcome to this.
Glad to be here.
You did watch one of these, so you should know a little bit about how this works.
A little bit.
I ask questions. It's
Alright.
it's like an interview, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
So, if you want to introduce yourself, you can do that, or we can just start with questions.
Okay. I think to start,
Alright.
something that people should know about me is the reason I chose the name Oblivici Mortem is
We'll get to that. No, we'll get to that.
No. Okay.
First question we always ask, how you doing?
I'm pretty good.
I just burned my tongue, that's fun.
Ouch.
Good is always good.
I'm getting a lot of editing done. So
I like
excited
being
about
good.
that.
Wait, no,
Better.
you're doing well. You're not doing
well.
good.
I'd say both.
Well, okay, if you're doing good, have you, donated to charity recently?
Well, doing good can also mean,
They're similar
Doing.
words, they don't mean the same thing. That people get tripped up on that.
I would say yes, I'm doing good, because all the progress that I make with my channel is towards a
Valid.
eventual good cause, so
That's valid. I always have questions, but it's picking the ones I want to say. That's what I always struggle with. I always have the same ones I'll go to. There's some ones I'll always do, but gotta think about it. Let's see. How about dark mode or light mode, and why?
definitely dark mode, and the reason being, I think it's something like dark mode uses, I want to say 80% less electricity than, light mode does. There's a black hole as opposed to a Google, which is still run by Google, but it was made just for the sense of energy conservation. So, yeah, I always like to be energy
I never knew
conscious,
that.
help where I can.
Hi,
So,
I never knew that.
yeah, I wouldn't quote me on 80%, but it's pretty large.
That's fair. No one's gonna quote you on anything because only I am the one that makes foolish statements.
Fair.
Oh.
Please don't burn your tongue too much.
No, I just swallowed my tea too quickly. I like drinking tea during these because I can have something that tastes like something and not also, lose my voice.
Fair.
Because without my voice, this is nothing.
I think depending on the tea, it can also be kind of helpful just because it, kind of clears your mind, makes you a little more centered.
Got some chai. It's my personal favorite. Now that everyone is thoroughly uncomfortable, let's continue. So yeah, how did you come up with the username?
Okay, so I made the name because it is a polar opposite of, well, for the most part, polar opposite of Unisanis's motto, which was Memento Mori, which means remember death. And I wanted to try and kind of hold the torch for Unisanis after it ended, which, for people who aren't familiar, Unisanis was a YouTube channel that was made by Markiplier and Crank Gameplays, and
It was like a social experiment.
Yeah, it was a social experiment to an extent. Yeah, it was mostly just them making fun videos with one another. They were pretty hilarious and amazing.
amazing.
And
You know
they did
there's
it.
an
The
archive,
reason
right?
any videos that are up are expected to be taken down. So if there's like a YouTube channel out there that says
No,
that it's, they're archived,
It's off YouTube. It's off YouTube, which means they
Okay.
kind of can't do anything.
okay, then yeah, they can't do anything about that. But the purpose of Unisonis means 1 year in Latin, and its intent was they were going to make videos for an entire year, one video a day between them, and they were going to at the end of the year, it was planned from the beginning that they were going to delete the entire YouTube channel and completely erase all the videos. And of course, that was a very emotional time at the end when they actually did
Yeah, I was
get rid
there.
of everything. I was there too.
I
So
actually have a shirt. So I bought it for $40. It's now worth like $200. So that's cool.
yeah, a lot of people got merchandise and stuff during that. I was a little jealous because I didn't have the money to be able to get it then.
Damn.
But
I'm never gonna wear it because I just don't care.
right, but when the actual like live stream was happening, it was like a 12-hour live stream at the end of it. While that was going on, I was like frantically creating a video that was of that timer that had already was gonna count down to 0, and I was creating a timer of it counting upwards instead to try and let people know that I was going to create a channel, and I was going to try and hold the torch to that and try and do something in the wake of Unisonis so that it doesn't necessarily end. There's the spirit of it still kind of continuing on in my work.
It's been almost a year since it ended.
Yeah, it has been pretty close to a year.
Yeah,
since
crazy.
it's
That's
first
kind of
came.
crazy. I mean, I bet they'll like talk about it, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
They'll
They
be
actually
like,
they had
remember
to go,
this?
They did actually, though. I realized they did delete the content from their own hard drives and everything too, because they are not going back and looking at it themselves. They actually had to ask the community once through. I think they released a tweet on it or something. But they actually had to ask the community to help them remember something that had happened during them that they couldn't recall, and like solve an argument between I think he and Markiplier's girlfriend. Me.
Yeah.
They were having an argument about something that happened. You need help of everyone else to clear it up because they don't have a copy anymore. So I think that's kind of cool too that they held themselves to that standard.
I wish they like put it on like a USB like stick and just like tossed it into the ocean in like a glass bottle. They should have done that. Because then someone in what, like
That kinda
50
would've
years will find it and be like, what is this?
Well, they had done kind of something reminiscent of that. I know they had made a time capsule at like towards the beginning, and they ended up like opening it towards the end and pulling out all of their stuff. And they were like, "Oh my god, everything in here is gross," because Ethan is allergic to peanut butter, so Mark put like on the inside of his a whole bunch of peanut butter because he's not like so allergic that like contact with it would kill him. He's allergic enough to where like if he ate any, it would be a problem for him. So Markiplier like smeared all over the inside of his thing to make sure that he wouldn't open it. Peanut butter.
Why? That's just, there's so many better ways to go about that.
Yeah, no, it was
Like
I mean,
dry
it was all
peanuts.
a joke. Right, true. But I mean, it was all just
Yeah,
to be a joke.
yeah.
Because it'd be funny.
I guess on the
YouTube.
topic of YouTube stuff, who's your favorite YouTuber?
Favorite would definitely be Markiplier. I'm definitely an honest, not a newness.
As a fellow friend of the pink mustache, I understand why he tends to draw people in.
Yeah. Is that the reason for your pink mustache? Is because
No,
you were
it's
inspired
because
by
the pink mustache
Wolford,
isn't
or
just cool.
okay, fair.
I like completely forgot that was even his thing for a long period of time, and then Ajax told me. I was like, oh yeah.
Well, it's not his. Wolford Wharf stashes. Okay, they're not the same person.
Interesting. Wilfred Wolfstash.
Worf.
Wharf stash.
Yeah, pretty sure that's.
You know what? Whatever. I don't care. It's just I like, and especially because it was a TF2 cosmetic, so I was like, yeah, I'll just go with this.
All right. So that's your reason for it.
And my Aces High have been my channel icon for a while now. For a year, maybe a little over a year, maybe a little less than a year. I don't quite remember when I said it. I could look, because I made a video about it, but I don't want to.
Fair. Well, kind of going back to where we started on this, the reasoning behind going Bob Disney Mortem is because I have a belief that the idea of, memento mori, of, remember death, is something that we shouldn't have to do. That we should live where we technologically are in the world. I see it as a sort of semi-immortality is possible. I think that
you will never be forgotten.
Well, not because of not being forgotten, but actually because of not dying. If we all work together and we get all of our priorities and everything laid out correctly, we could systematically go through and change the world in such a way that death doesn't have to happen.
Well, but the issue is death is important.
Well, people think that because
they
think if I were immortal, all of my friends and family around me would die. But what if they're immortal too?
Well, but then you have a moral dilemma of why live forever?
Well, because you can have enjoyment. I mean,
yes,
just because life doesn't end doesn't mean your body's not
But the
going
thought of eternity is scary.
It's scary because we think of ourselves in kind of a way to try and equate this would be, if you think about the life of an ant lives, for maybe a season, and we live for several. So to us, ants have an incredibly short life. So if we look at their life, we go, okay, well, their life, because of that, probably isn't as important as, my own life. So that's why when we walk across the cement, we don't really check for ants, because it doesn't matter to us. Their life is insignificant by comparison.
Yes, but that's more a that's more a matter of length.
Them for a season?
That's more of a length. Say if we could extend our lifespan, I'm all for that. I am all for living longer, not forever.
Well, I think that's part of it, is that, I mean, it's going to be at least a limited immortality, probably, because there's going to be, the scientists have theorized the, eventual heat death of the universe and things like that.
Well, but there you have the issue of
not be able to.
Well, the issue is that the heat death of the universe. Technically, we haven't even gotten to zero. We haven't gotten to 0. We haven't gotten to 0.1%. So, yeah.
Right, but I mean, the point being that eventually there'd be something very catastrophic that could happen to us. But I mean, my thoughts on that are, if it's going to happen anyway, but we can at least enjoy our, all of the time that we have until then. Why not do it? Okay, maybe the sun will explode in X million years. What we have then a million years that we could potentially live to. So let's try that. And during that time, if we find out a way to avoid getting blown up with the sun, then great, we can do that. If not, then it is what it is. At least we get to party until then.
What's the point at that point? Why would you do anything if you just can literally say, well, I'll just do it tomorrow? Because there's always going to be a tomorrow.
Well, in that instance, the point behind doing things is kind of the same point that we have right now. Because, I mean, when you think about, why do I go to work? You don't think about the reason that you go to work in the morning is because, well, I'm going to have it tomorrow, so why don't I, go to work today? That's not the thought process that you have. You have, I need to go to work to be able to afford money to get money to afford, food, etc., etc.
But if we live forever, we don't care about food. We don't need food.
Well, no. You still would need to eat. that would still be something.
So
you
we
have
have
to do.
we
But
so
food would
okay
be
so
incredibly
what
available.
you're trying to say is we could live forever, or we would have infinitely long lifespans, but we could still die.
You could still force yourself to die.
Okay, well that's okay.
A
I
number
feel
of
like that's an
ways.
entirely different thing. Can we also? We're getting a little too philosophical.
We are getting philosophical, but I
We
mean
are-
that's
we are.
some of the things that I want to try and do with my channel. Is I want to try and explore those concepts,
I
create a
think that'll
plan for
take
everyone
off.
on how those sort of things can do. And I mean, I do hope so.
I
in the
mean, I think if you
meantime-
do it well, yeah.
In the meantime, I've been trying to hone my editing to be able to be more interesting for people, and I've been trying to create gaming content because, as I mentioned, I'm inspired by Markiplier and Unisonics. So I've tried to do content that feels reminiscent of Markiplier's content.
Yeah.
Try to stick to horror things and kind of follow in his footsteps. And I will say,
Yeah.
I know people look at that and they'll go, "Oh, well, he's just a ripoff of whoever." And I am trying to do things in my own way, as well as I would mention that I remember that one of Markiplier's interviews where he's answering questions, he does specifically state, "If you can ride my coattails to victory, then do it." Those are his words. So I feel like Markiplier, if he saw this, he'd be like, "Oh, that guy's doing well. Great. If I'm doing well."
Markiplier, if you somehow manage to stumble upon this video in your grand searches across YouTube, first of all, hi, and second of all, email me. I'd like to interview you.
Third of all, hi. And fourth of all, notice me, senpai.
Of course. Yes. Oh boy. Anyway, let's get back to the questions, huh?
Yeah, go.
I love how loose these can be. I never wanted them to be strictly structured, but some structure.
Right.
Let's see. Do you have a favorite food?
Ooh, favorite food.
Yes. Favorite food, calls.
I make some really awesome tacos, so those are probably on the list. Like I have made my
Yeah,
own
tacos are
specific
good.
recipe of tacos, so I'm
What type?
kind of betting on that.
What type of tacos?
I don't know tacos, but there's different types of tacos.
Like, what's in 'em?
A lot of cumin, like a lot. Like
So you're not talking like you're not talking about
I'm
it.
not
You're not
really
talking
a-
about a teaspoon. You're talking about a gallon. Do your spices come
I'm
in
going like
gallons?
4 tablespoons in, probably at least. I mean, if it did come in gallons, I don't think at that point it's healthy because I mean, there's a
Yeah.
limit to like how
Yeah.
dry your food can be before like you try and
Oh.
eat a teaspoon of cinnamon and you're
Cinnamon?
gonna like choke. Cinnamon.
I've
yeah,
eaten a
sorry.
teaspoon of cinnamon. It was unpleasant, but I was fine.
Well, no, not a teaspoon. People try to do like a tablespoon, and they like gag on it because like your body at a certain point you cannot handle the amount of cinnamon.
Yeah, it's like
you
it's
will
because like you're
cough and
eating
choke.
it's like you're eating spicy sand.
Yeah, as well as it's so strong that it like causes weird effects to happen on
Yeah,
your
because
body.
it can float into your brain.
One of the things people don't notice or understand sometimes about spices is that the reason that spices are spices is because the plant evolved that way so that it wouldn't be eaten by potential things that would eat it. And we see that and we go, "I'm gonna put that shit on everything."
Yeah. We try not to swear here, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I can.
It's
provide
alright.
you a
It's
thing to
alright.
beat you completely out with if you want.
Eh,
I'll send you
nah, I
the
don't. I
sound
mean, I
file.
don't care enough. As long as you don't do it too much.
I'll try it.
Don't exceed that whatever like 3 in a minute limit, or
Oh,
YouTube
I
gets
didn't
mad
know there
at
was
you.
I didn't know there was a limit.
There is. You're not. If like, I mean, it's normally an advertiser's limit, but whatever. You're not supposed to swear within the first minute, and you shouldn't swear more than I think 3 times in a single minute. But I am not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me on that.
I've always been somebody who believes that the whole like thought of like, "Oh, don't swear, it's a bad thing," is all kind of
No, it's not a
dumb.
bad thing. I just think that because people think it's a bad thing, like in my
Right.
day-to-day life, I do interject myself with swear occasionally, but very rarely. Because I don't. First of all, I don't like
Ow.
doing it, but
I'll be honest, and it'll be a preface for my content. If you watch my content, I swear all the time. It just happens.
Also, hello viewers from your channel.
Yes.
Hi.
Welcome.
We're 20 minutes in, and now we're welcoming you. This is how this tends to be.
Hey, they got mentioned. They are acknowledged.
They're
That's what
acknowledged.
matters.
No one watches this far, by the way. Well, actually, no. I've noticed that if you get sent by someone's channel, you watch longer. So maybe they watch this far.
All right.
I didn't get to ask as many questions as I wanted to, but we can still touch on some. Do you have any videos in the works right now?
Right now, I am working on a 3 Scary Games video. Again, gotta be reminiscent of Markiplier. And, he owns that. The 3 Scary Games that are gonna be in it is Dystopicon, Dementia, and You Must Continue. I'm most excited about You Must Continue. I
Sounds
happen to know
interesting.
A lot about that game, and like the backstory behind it that does not so much come through the game a lot. But it's really interesting. It's a bit philosophical, a bit psychological. They're all technically horror games, I would say.
Man, I get so freaked out by them.
Yeah.
That is the point.
I'm not somebody who is normally easily scared, but
I'm
horror
very
games
easily
have a
scared.
way of surprising me in interesting ways. Like I recently had released a video on a game that's supposed to be like a satisfying cleaning game, and it had a horror level in it that I played, and it scared the crap out of me, and it was insane.
People go
I appreciate it if you do. It's good. It's one of my best edited videos so far. I think this next one's going to be potentially slightly better, but only because I'm putting a lot of love into it.
All right. What's your favorite color?
Color? I would say I'm gonna go with it's kind of a tie between black and yellow. Black because I've just always liked the color black. The idea of like hidden things is
Yeah.
important to
Yeah.
me. I really like the aspect of stealth and things like that. But the reason that I say yellow is because cool story about me. I am actually the reason for a meme that has gone like viral. If anyone ever has seen that meme that is about like a girl sits down and asks a guy what type of flowers he likes, and he responds sunflowers, and that meme,
I've never heard of it.
that guy, I sat down in a college class next to a girl, and first thing she turns to me and says is, "Hey, so what's your favorite type of flower?" And I'm like, I smile because I'm like excited because I've always been somebody who's felt like guys deserve flowers too, and girls never ask us what the type of flowers that we like are. So I smiled really big and I told her sunflowers, and I explained why, and it was because of my grandfather used to make these really big giant-headed sunflowers.
You'll have to share
so
this
big.
with me. I can't. I looked it up and I can't find anything.
You can't find the meme for it. That's okay. Right now it's probably a meme from 2016 or back further.
Oh.
But I'll try and find it and share it to you because I think I have it saved somewhere. I'll have to look. But it's just a simple text meme of like somebody posted on Reddit or something that, hey, this happened to me, and a lot of people shared it around that time that I was in college. So
Cool. Let's do two more questions. How's that sound? Two more?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know which ones I want to choose. Do you have any hobbies outside of YouTube stuff?
Yes, I've done some 3D printing,
Ooh.
and the reason for that was because I'm pretty heavily involved in like D&D stuff.
Oh yeah, same.
I wanted to try and run
Kind of.
a game of D&D because I also DM. I wanted to try and run that for friends and do something with that during the whole like quarantine when everyone was locked down still. It never ended up taking off, unfortunately, because we didn't end up having all the players show up, so it's unfortunate, but still got all the minis and stuff that I printed from that. So
No,
I'm
at
fairly
least you,
happy
at
with it. I
least
feel
you
like
got something.
I feel like I do a pretty good
Yeah,
job of it.
yeah. Let's see. What's your favorite video game?
I would say most definitely it is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That
That's
game
a good choice.
has an amazing soundtrack. It's so jam-packed full of little Easter eggs and secrets everywhere throughout that game that, like, when you first were playing it, you'd have a friend who'd know like a secret or two, and then you'd know a secret or two, and then you just kind of added their secrets to your collection of secrets, and then eventually there was, that whole like people talking about it on the playground thing, saying that they did something that's actually impossible sort of a thing, but then you find out that there's ways to glitch the game and do X thing, and it was just so crazy. I must have played that game to completion probably somewhere around like 20 to 30 times.
Jesus.
I actually have checked the scoreboards and things for like speed runs and stuff, and they also have a section for like game completion percentage, because it's actually possible to get up to like 206 or 216. I just remember there was sixes in percent, and I actually took the time to go through and complete that game to the highest percentage possible to actually be able to tie for the world record of completion percentage. And since then, that record has been beaten by a bit of percentage, just because people found some more ways to glitch the game and get a little bit further. But
Well, that's cool,
I just think that's
though.
awesome.
That's really
There's-
cool. I have a single speed run of a single thing, and no, it will never be shared on the internet because it was terrible. I did get like third place though, so But I mean, I think it was like a year ago, and that record was, and I bet it's been absolutely demolished.
Yeah, speed run records. Just they're so.
I'm not even gonna tell
for
people
some
what
games.
it was. But I will tell you what game it was in. Maybe I don't remember. I don't remember. Dang.
Remember what it was about? Maybe
Yeah,
give us a hint.
I somehow completely do not remember, but it was nope, I remember nothing about it. Dang.
Do you remember what style of game it was? Like it was like a side scroller, like beat
I
'em
have
up,
no
or
idea.
no? Alright, well, it is what it is.
It might have been like some weird, I have no idea. It might have been something on like, nah, I've got no idea. Doesn't really matter at this point. I wanna, if I ever start, because I wanna make video games as sort of a career. I want to like speed run it the day before it comes out, just so I can say like, ha. Can someone who makes their own game speed run it? Is that allowed?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as you do it in a fair way. Like if you're not purposefully making a way for yourself to shortcut the game, I think you're fine then.
That's fair.
As long as you operate on the same rules as everyone else does on how the game works.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose so. Let's do just a few questions, because I do unfortunately have to leave in just a little bit. So let's see.
Okay.
What is your preferred color of sticky note?
I don't really have a preferred color of sticky notes. I just kind of go with normal sticky notes, like whatever's available
Valid.
is fine.
Yeah, that's fair. My preferred is either white or blue,
Okay.
because I can see best on them.
It's fair. Are you some sort of colorblind or?
Nope.
Interesting story about myself. I'm not colorblind, but I did something rather silly, and it caused me to have a different perception of the world than everyone else. I wore 3D glasses, like the red and blue ones, for like 3 days straight, and that
Yikes.
caused me to actually damage my eyes in such a way that I permanently see the reverse of those. So, like, the eye that had the red one is capable of seeing blue better, and the one that was capable of seeing blue better, or sorry, the one that was a blue lens has now a better capacity to see red, because I like actually killed off more of one of the nodes. Of the eye
Interesting.
that those things, yeah. So because I did that, everything is kind of permanently slightly 3D. So if I like close one eye, I can see things in a different shade than if I close the other eye and look through that one. Sort of
That's
thing.
really
Like,
weird.
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So sometimes I'll have
Don't do that.
arguments with people. Yeah, I'll have arguments with people about what the color of something is if it's like a shade that's right on the line. Because like I can close one eye and it'll be one color, and then I'll close the other eye and it'll be a different one.
That's gotta be a little weird. Maybe that was a bad idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest it.
I think it'll go away maybe eventually. Maybe not.
I mean, it has kind of dulled a little bit over.
How
the
long
years,
has it
but
been?
I want to say 7, 8-ish years. It has
Okay, maybe it
dulled
weon't go away.
significantly, but I could still like if I take the time to try and notice, I do notice flipping between my two eyes, like there's
Weird.
a small change.
Something tells me you're doing it right now, aren't you?
Yeah, just a little bit.
yeah. You can always. It's always obvious. Anyway, let's do our last question. How about that?
Sure.
If you could sort of change one thing about YouTube in general as a platform, what would that be?
I would say the biggest thing that I would change about YouTube would be the YouTube Studio has that thing where like you get the music and sound effects and things that you can use to make your videos with, but it's very limited. I think one thing that would change about it is I would make a lot more of that. Like if I was the owner of YouTube, I would invest a lot more money into that, so that like every sound effect that you could potentially want could be in there, and a larger selection of music could be in there.
Yeah, just drop Kevin McLeod in there and we'll be fine.
I more so use White Bad Audio.
Fair enough.
They're really great about how easy they are to like credit.
I guess Kevin McLeod is a bit too, 2010. Maybe even earlier. I don't know.
White Audio does a lot of like synthwave sort of stuff. That just kind of works
Interesting.
fairly well for horror ever since Stranger Things kind of became popular.
Yeah.
They made that whole synth thing kind of really pop with the 80s feel, and that really kind of moved along a bit of the horror genre for today. So I think kind of incorporating that sort of sound in a lot of their music really helped.
Best decision Netflix ever made.
Sorry, was that a question or?
No, I was making a joke.
Oh,
It was more actually. It's a pretty factual statement, all things considered.
I didn't quite catch it fully.
Best decision Netflix ever made.
Oh, yeah, I would say Stranger Things is very good. I mean, I'm kind of partial to the Castlevania series, at least the first 2 seasons. 3 and 4 were not that great, but
To each their own. To each their own. I won't judge.
it's fair.
Well, thank you so much for being here. This was a pretty interesting interview, I'll just say.
Okay, well, hopefully that's a good thing. Hopefully
I mean, it is.
hopefully,
I think that's just in of itself a lot more. I like the more unique ones of these.
I just try to, keep them in their seats and keep them plastered there.
Yeah.
So they don't want to walk away. Like, that's
Actually, I'm fine
probably
with
for the
people
best.
like putting us on in the background and walking around. It's a podcast,
Right. Fair.
Well, thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and like, because that allows me to know that you do enjoy it. If you didn't like it, please tell me in the comments what I can do better and go away. I don't know why you watched this far if you didn't like it. Anyway, you've been great. I've been great. You have also been great. You.
I did say thank you. That didn't come through.
Yeah, it didn't. But yes, you have been great. Everyone's been great. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.